Hello, I'm Silveroxis, and this week after a long last, we're finally getting another arena unit. We are getting Mirgardi, the Celestia's Dragon Warrior. She is the first arena champion that is based in Celestia, and there are a couple more coming after her, a total of 2 that exist so far, but she is the first. So let's go over what she can do. She is a dancer class, but her role is mainly fan DPS. Her special abilities is that she can boost her own fan potency up to 135% from stackable Dragon Tail stacks that she can gain. She can also auto-taunt any target she normal attacks. Her preferred weapons would be Fortune Fans built for P attack or Cosmic Fan for some damage cap. It's hard to, even though she has terrible multi-hits, as you'll see, to want to use Brilliant or Stalwart fans because the P attack stat on those is pretty bad. So she's going to probably struggle to hit cap for some other reasons, as you'll see later. So you might just, if you are planning on using her, just go for decent strong hits that are going to do okay damage versus high multi-hits. Her preferred accessories would be P attack boosting accessories, a fan damage up accessory to cap since her passive only gets her to 20%. Her A4 works for this. I would give her damage cap if she is your main DPS for some reason. So for her passive skills, her first passive is when she's attacked by enemies, she gains 1 Dragon Tail point per hit taken. So if an enemy hits her with a multi-hit attack that does 4 hits, she would gain 4 Dragon Tail points. At the start of battle, she starts with 5 Dragon Tail stacks, but then every time she uses fan attacks, either a normal attack or a fan skill or her ultimate, she'll lose 4 Dragon Tail stacks. Her 6-star skill evolution will make it so where she only loses 3 stacks after using fan attacks instead. Her 3-star passive is when she uses normal attack, she taunts the target that she hits for 2 turns. So this basically just means that she doesn't have a taunt skill, she just always has taunt built into her normal attack, so that can be useful as a pseudo tank. And for against single enemy fights, she can technically sort of tank because if she does a normal attack, she just has taunt. And this is also good because, she wants to get smacked to gain Dragon Tail points somewhat too. That's the only way to get them is for her to get hit. Her TP is that she grants herself the following buffs according to her number of Dragon Tail stacks that she has. If she has 2 or more stacks, she gains 15% physical and elemental resistance up, which is just straight damage mitigation by 15% for every hit she takes. If she has 4+ stacks, she gains 20% physical attack up. And if she has 6+ stacks, she gets 20% fan damage up and 30,000 damage cap up. And as a note of Dragon Tail, there are stackable points up to 9. They enhance some skills, and fan attacks gain 15% potency per stack, with up to 135% potency added on to fan attacks with all 9 stacks. And this potency up will stack with Canary and Solan ults. For her skills, her base skills, she has a 3-hit random target fan, a 3-hit random target axe with a medium chance to inflict blind for 2 turns per hit, a 1-hit AoE fan that exploits axe weakness and also grants herself 15% physical attack up for 2 turns, a 3-hit random target fire that exploits fire and wind weakness and inflicts 10% physical attack and magical attack down for 2 turns per hit. And if she uses a 1 BP or more on the skill, that she makes herself act last next turn. A 1-hit single target fan that exploits axe weakness, and if she has at least 2 Dragon Tail points, she'll also self-heal. Then her 3-star skill is self 15% physical attack and fan damage up for 3 to 6 turns. And if she has 2 or more Dragon Tail stacks, she also gains regen for 3 turns. 4 or more Dragon Tail stacks, she'll gain 5% SP regen. And if she has 5 or less Dragon Tail stacks, she'll gain 3 stacks immediately without needing to get hit. This is the only way she can get stacks without taking damage. So it is useful. And one thing you'll notice here is that if you'll notice her fan attack potencies compared to her, for her other potencies are really low. And I'll explain more on that later, but I just want you to notice that on this slide and the next slide about what her fan skills look like. And if you open up any other unit, you'll see what I'm talking about. So for her 4-star skill, 2-hit AoE fire that exploits fan and wind weakness, and it also inflicts 15% physical and magical defense down for 2 turns. If she uses 1 or more BP, she'll grant herself priority on the next turn. 5-star skill, she has a priority 3-hit single target fan that exploits act weakness and also inflicts 15% fan res down for 2 turns. With 4 or more Dragon Tail stacks, she also inflicts corrosion for 2 turns, which is basically the same as combustion. It's just the physical version of that, where you take minor physical damage and lose 1 shield at the end of the turn. She has a 1-hit single target fan that exploits act weakness, and with 4 or more Dragon Tail stacks, restore 1 BP. And then her TP skill is a 1-hit single target fan that exploits act weakness. If max boosted, act last on that turn. And if she has capped 9 Dragon Tail stacks, she'll double cast this skill. And yeah, I just want you to kind of notice, if you look at her skill potencies, 1-hit single target fan nuke, for other units, that would be base 230 to 260 power, up to even 290 power. Hers is 175. So, it's clearly she's designed that while she gets potency up from her Dragon Tail stacks, her base potency on fan attacks has been basically gouged to compensate for her constant getting self-potency. So, unfortunately, that hinders her ability a good bit. Her EX skill and ultimate technique. Her EX skill has 2 total uses and is unlocked from turn 4 onward. She grants herself a countdown of 4, and at the end of the countdown, she does a 1-hit random target fan, which always reduces shield points. This does have actually decent potency, so even though it's only 1 hit, it will hit really hard with her potency up abilities as well. And because it's also a countdown skill, she can also do a normal attack the turn that she uses this, so overall it kind of works together to have more damage. It's also the second 1-hit random target skill in the game. Largo's not the only one now to have a 1-hit skill that is random target. Her ultimate technique is a damage class ultimate with costing 4 BP to charge from level 10 to full charge. It's called Breaking Rice Ears. It's a 5-hit AoE fan that exploits axe weakness with a base of 5 times 35 power, and it scales to 5 times 45 power at ultimate level 10. For ultimate 10 priority, I actually would say if you're planning to use her, to make her ult 10 first. If you can't complete all her refights for the rest of her stones, her ult is actually her best nuking option, so 2 uses of it plus higher potency does matter. So for Awakenings in her A4 accessory, so I'm not going to rate how good each Awakening is on her because she's a free unit, so I'm just going to explain where you get the stones because you should max Awaken her anyway because you can't shard free stones anyway. So you get 1 stone from the exchange for 100 Mirgardi fragments earned from refighting her in the Memoirs. You get the other 4 stones from the adversary log refights. Ranks 1, 2, 3 each has a stone, and EX1 has the last stone. Also, just to note, her EX2 refight rewards her 6-star class up seal, so if you want her 6-star, you have to do up to EX2. EX3 is just 30 rubies like normal. Her A4 accessory is the Garud style Air's Cloak. It grants 80p attack and 60 crit. And its abilities are self 10% fan damage up, and when hit by an attack, restore 15% of damage taken as HP. Her A4 accessory rating, I would say, is a C tier. The stats on it are fine. The effects are meh best because 10% fan damage up exists just to cap her own passive to 30% if used on her. And since she wants to get smacked to gain Dragon Tail stacks, this 15% HD restore can help her stay alive. It's not a super useful A4 in other units, but since it's 100% free to get, it's fine. It might have some use somewhere maybe, but it's free, so you're going to get it anyway. For an optimal skill loadout, I would recommend you take her 1-hit fan that she can double cast with 9 Dragon Tail stacks. This is actually basically a 2-hit that'll actually reach damage cap without too much issue compared to her other ones, which might struggle that even with all the potency up. So her second skill, I would take a 3-hit single target fan that debuffs fan resistance. Because it's only a 3-hit, it's not going to do that much more damage unless you're really able to hit cap over the 2-hit that'll more easily hit cap. In general, you're going to be nuking with her ultimate if you intend to actually do decent damage with her at all anyway. For skill 3, I take her 2-hit AoE fire that debuffs physical defense and magic defense, so she can help cap or extend those debuffs. And for skill 4, I would take her self buff skill for P attack fan damage up, because fan damage up is currently not a common, it doesn't really exist right now for other units to cast on her. So you could do that to get herself, and then you only need one other source of all damage up to cap to 30%. And it also gives her Dragon Tail stacks when she's at 5 or less, so it's the only way to gain Dragon Tail without getting hurt. So it can be a way to help get her up to 9 quicker. Because if you want her to do any kind of decent damage, she needs to have 9 stacks for every time she's nuking. Which, to a quick segue here, one of her problems also is, like, for on break turns, she will only be able to do one really strong hit, because as soon as she does a fan attack, she's going to lose 3 to 4 stacks, and that's going to drop her potency by that amount, and she can't get them back in time for the same break, unfortunately. Unless there's, like, another enemy that's alive, that's not in break, that can hit her in between break turns on the main enemy, which would be weird. So for unit synergy, if you're intending to use her as her main DPS, you'd probably want Canary to be your breaker. Ult buff potency stacks with her own. Solon for ult potency buff. Nefty's actually a good choice because she can buff all damage up and her ultimate buffs as well. Rinyu is an alternate option to Nefty for all damage up. ODO can be the same as above, but also grant dead aim. You probably want at least one of those, because that way she can get to 30% fan damage up via the all damage up stacking with the herself fan damage up, not in duration but in potency effect to 30%. Primrose EX is good for regen and also ult buffs, and Signa ult debuffs and can also help with your physical res down countdown skill to reach 30% fan res down as well. Alright, so to overview her, because she's a free arena unit, so there is no to pull or not to pull, because, I mean, you get her for free unless you just choose not to do her fight, which was weird, because you get free rubies for completing the arena anyway. Fan is already one of the worst physical damage types. It gets a bit better when our Bargello EX comes, but, like, at first glance, Mirgardi seems decently strong with herself 135% potency up for fan attacks that can stack with Solon for up to 235%, until you realize they gouge your skill potencies to account for this. Like, normally 3-hit skills base power is about 3 times 85, and hers is 3 times 35. So you can see that she needs her self potency up to even do normal damage, and that's bad. But she is a fully free unit to unlock in A4 ult 10, so while not great, she can do some decent fan damage should you want to build a fan DPS team. But unfortunately, she does have terrible hit counts, with her best being a 5-hit ultimate. So for overall rating on her DPS, unfortunately, she's really, even despite all her stuff being a fan DPS, she's like a D-tier DPS. Terrible hit counts besides her ult, terrible potency if she doesn't have full Dragon Tail at all times, which she can't even do twice on break, so her overall damage is just really bad. I'd give her C tier in support. She has a couple debuffs she could help, but that's only it. She can't do any buffing on any other units. Not available in healing. I don't count self-healing as a heal stat for that. I count healing rating as you're able to heal other units, not just yourself. For tank, I'd actually give it a B. She has some damage mitigation, and she does have an ability to taunt without taking a taunt skill, as she can just throw out a normal attack to help shave shields, anything that's weak to fan, and taunt them, so that's useful. So overall tier, C-. But, like I said, she's 100% free, so you might get some use out of her, or she might just sit in your roster and you only get the feats from owning her. Either way, it's an arena. We've been waiting for this for a while, so hopefully enjoy the refights, have some fun with the new content. Let me know what you thought of the fight, and if you had fun getting her, and if you do try to use her in any comps, just let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please like, follow, and subscribe for more COTC content. I will see about trying to get a video up for the arena, for my arena clears for her as well when I can. So look forward to that on the channel. And otherwise, thanks for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.